Add ginger to your diet because it's anti-inflammatory. If you feel good about yourself, you make other people feel good about themselves. Slash, I forgot one tip. Hi everyone, what's up? Welcome back. Tomorrow is my birthday and I thought that I would make a video about some of the things I've learned up until now in my early and mid-20s. Not that I'm an experienced adult at life, but there's some things that I have learned or that are in the conversation of your 20s that I sort of wanted to give light to. And without further ado, so let's start because I wrote this all down on my cell phone. Okay, so I divided these categories into general, love, sex and relationships, career, spirituality, and womanhood. So my first thing is that nothing is ever black and white. When I was younger, I sort of used to have a different approach to things. I think it was definitely more of like, it's either this or that. And right now, like, I can definitely see myself taking a different approach to everything in life. Like, okay, maybe it's neither this nor that, but it's, you know, it's somewhere in the gray space. And I think that's something that comes up even in my conversations with women, with my friends now that I have. The lesson is that there's different factors that come into play and not everything is black and white. The thing I learned is that after college, life becomes less linear. So what I mean by that is when you are starting out in school, you start out, right, you go to elementary school, middle school, high school, and then you go to college, or if you decide to take that path. So everything is sort of laid out for you. So you have to like check the boxes, like, okay, I've done this, I applied to take my SAT, I passed it, I got good scores, I got into college, I'm in college, and then after it's like, oh, what do I do? For me, I like to think of it more of like a little playground, where it's not, you're not checking the boxes, you're sort of exploring where you want to go and where you want to be. My other thing, and this is one of the most important things because I feel like I hear about this all the time, is figuring it out. I think that there's nothing to figure out. I think that you make decisions every day that impact your life. And I think figuring it out puts us in a state of future. So, okay, it's totally fine to have goals and plans for your future. There's really no need to figure it out. You just have to decide. Just make a choice and see where that choice will take you. If you like it, keep going. If you don't like it, switch to a different, like make a different choice. If you're constantly going to be figuring it out. So it's not like, okay, now I'm in my late 20s, I'm going to be figuring it out. Like, I'm going to be figuring out what I'm going to do. You're always figuring it out. You're figuring out what you're going to do with your life. Then you're going to have to figure out what I'm going to do, you know, how I'm going to raise my kids. Then I'm going to have to figure out how to fund my kids' education. Then I'm going to figure out, if I'm gonna buy another house. Like, you're always figuring it out. So there's nothing to figure out. There's just the choices and decisions that you make, and those can either help you or not help you. Ultimately, they'll all help you because they will all teach you what you want and what you don't want out of life. On to very important general section things. Anytime you're having a bad day, a glass of wine and an episode of Friends will fix it. So remember that. So moving on to love, sex, and relationship. Respect yourself and understand that the level of respect you have for yourself is what you'll get from other people. So whatever you accept for yourself in a relationship or in your life is what's gonna come to you. If you accept unfairness, if you accept bullshit, if you accept cheating, that is what you're gonna continue to get because that's what you're accepting. You're not putting a stop to it. So this is not for every case. In my experience, I have seen that this is for most cases, but not every case, because I am a true believer that people can change. You should respect yourself enough to accept only good things for yourself. Lastly, about love and sex and relationships. Sex is a very important thing in a relationship, and you should make an effort to have it. I know as women, sometimes we get really tired because we're juggling a lot of things, and some of us don't have the sex drive that males do. You should make an effort because a lot of men accept love in that way, and their physical touch is important for them. I've had relationships where it's like a lot of bickering or little arguments, and I've noticed that the more sex I've had, the better it gets. It doesn't work for everybody, and it might be TMI, but it is very honest. Sex is important. Okay, so in terms of career, number one thing, you should always negotiate your salary. Especially if you've been in your field for more than 2 years. Companies are always going to give you the base of what they have for that position because obviously they don't want to give you the most upfront. So they're expecting you to negotiate your salary. They're expecting you to sell yourself, talk about your skills. If you cannot negotiate the salary and numbers, negotiate the benefits and other things like such as working from home, flexibility with your schedule. My next thing and sort of my biggest career advice. If you're in a place that you don't like, you're not always going to manifest a different job for yourself like ASAP. Start a hobby, and this hobby can be your side gig business, or just, you know, a hobby where you are exploring something else that you might like. For example, in my career, I love my career. I love working in PR and I love writing, and I just wanted another avenue to get my word out and to reach people. And so this is why I started YouTube. And for me, this is a way to share my perspective without it being edited or anybody telling me, hey, don't say that, or you can't say, like, this is just me. I'm solely responsible for the energy and the words that I put out here, which is incredibly freeing, I think, for myself, because I feel like I can say whatever I want and I can truly share myself with you. So yeah, so it makes me happy to be able to do that. It makes me happy to be able to help. Just try other things, because I feel like once you sort of find what you enjoy, anything, you can make money out of anything, especially in the US. Be active. Play an active role in changing your life, in improving your life. Be active in the things that, in searching for the things that you want. Even if you think there are no possibilities, there's nothing, like, get out of that mindset. Possibilities in the universe are endless. They're limitless. There's no limit to the things that can happen in your life. So get out of that mindset and start thinking of other things that you can do to make your life better. Moving on to spirituality, which is my favorite topic ever, because I am a spiritual person and I have always trusted in spirit, and right now I feel like I trust in it more than ever. In your 20s and in all of life, there's obviously ups and downs, and there's moments that feel devastating or moments that feel like you cannot overcome that. If you ever go through a moment where you feel like you cannot overcome, the best thing that I suggest you do is to talk out loud. Some people might call it prayer, others might call it energy, you know, whatever it is, just speak out loud whatever is bothering you, and whatever you want out of life, ask for it. There is, even if you do not believe in any sort of energy or in any greater creator, ask out loud for what it is you need. And once you sort of speak out loud, I know that there are some things in life that we cannot share with anyone and that we'd rather just keep to ourselves, but we still want to have a relief or, you know, release it. So I feel like speaking out loud is something that has always helped. And it's important for you to be connected spiritually to your creator, to your energy, because that's what's gonna, like, move you. It's gonna move you in the right direction. I feel like a lot of us are unhappy, are confused about what to do. If you could just take a second and breathe and speak and look at answers that are right in front of you, we would all be much more clear-minded about what it is that we should do, or our next steps in life. I just changed my battery, so, which is probably why this shifted, because I don't know exactly where I placed my tripod in the same exact spot, but I'm thinking this is the spot. Anyway, lastly, I want to talk about womanhood, because I love being a woman. I have incredible relationships with women, and I'm very close to my mom. Relationships with women are some of the most important relationships you'll ever have, because there's nothing like sisterhood. You could be a guy's girl, identify more with men or the way men see things or whatever you want, but there's nothing like sisterhood. There's nothing like having a friend who understands how you feel from your from a woman's perspective. I wanted to dedicate some time to this because these are two things that I have gone through, like, since I was little. So as a woman, and I feel like as a Latina in Latin cultures, in Latina culture in the US, like, I feel that there's so much emphasis on the way that you look. And TMI, but I got my period very quickly, so, like, my boobs, like, I always had a very womanly body, so my boobs grew in fur. I always felt like my boobs were never perky. Like, since the beginning, I never had perky boobs, and then eventually I would gain and lose weight, so they became, like, even more saggy. Always, like, an emphasis on, like, having perfect perky boobs. And for me, now that I'm, like, a little bit more sure and confident in myself and in my body, I just want more people and more women to show off what they have, like, to show off my saggy boobs, like, even if they're not perfect. Like, I want to show that, because I feel like there's so many young girls who are probably going through what I went through when I was young, which is just, like, a body that does not match your age. You sort of don't know what to do with it. If you don't have, like, good guidance, you don't know how to address that. You don't know how to be like, even if my boobs are saggy or not as big or not as whatever, they're still my boobs. Like, these are the boobs that I have. Like, what am I going to do with them? Surgery was not as common as it is. Like, I would have to deal with them. So, you know, deal with them, like learn to love them and accept them as they are. Obviously, if you cannot deal with them, have surgery. Do whatever it is that's going to make you happy. I am not opposed to surgery. If it's going to make you happy, I'd say do it. I think that for me, I have battled with having saggy boobs like towards the earlier of my 20s. Now I don't really mind them. It's more of a nuance. Like, it's more of like, okay, I would like to wear a backless dress without having like without having all these boobs to worry about. Aesthetically, I don't care for it as much. Maybe I will later in the future, but I just think like the most important thing is to accept your body, and once you've accepted it, try your best to show it in the light that you want to show it, because I feel like the media needs more women with saggy boobs. Like, it needs more women with like curly hair. I feel like media like needs you to come out and be like, hey, like, I'm okay with this. Like, I'm not gonna buy your product. I'm not gonna like fund your industry, because I am like completely fine with my body. I was always raised with straight hair is better than curly hair, and that was because straighter is closer to whiteness, and it's something that is ingrained in like Hispanic cultures. People who are like our grandmothers or moms, they don't necessarily realize why. Somebody who was born in Cuba, raised in the US, like, I understand all about the racial politics of hair. So if we had this education and we're able to better educate our grandparents, our moms about, you know, like, hey, my hair is just as good curly as it is straight. Yeah, I think the politics of hair is like a huge topic, and it's something that I would love, that I'm going to continue to talk about in this channel, because it's something that I finally feel comfortable with. I remember when I was in college, I would wear my hair curly all the time. Like, I wanted to rebel and I wanted to say like, hey, this is my hair, that's it. Now I wear it curly, I wear it straight. It just depends on my look. I've disassociated the politics of my hair with my actual hair. It has been beneficial to me, and I feel like now I can talk about it freely. So I guess this is more of an advice to any young moms or any moms watching. Accept your daughters as they are, and teach them, you know, like, to accept themselves as they are, so they can move past their appearance and they can like focus on like things that actually matter. Not that your appearance doesn't matter, but they can focus on other things in their lives. You're going to try to think twice about getting bangs before you get them if you're going through something. That's it. And that would be my last tip of the day. And now I'm leaving. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was more chit-chatty and it's probably going to be very long, but I just wanted to take the time to address some things that I'm going to also be addressing later on in my channel in different ways, and to talk about things that I have been going through or have gone through. Open up a conversation about these things that us as women go through. If you like the video, please let me know. I'm moving soon, so there's going to be a whole new setup. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.